Needs a shoulder to cry on.
Hi friends, welcome back to my kitchen and welcome if you are new. I'm Cheryl, this is Table Full of Joy, and we are back to using our air fryer again tonight. I am super excited about this recipe. Hubby and I love meatloaf. Meatloaf is a classic from when I was a kid. My grandmother made it all the time and I always loved meatloaf and mashed potatoes. Very classic dinner. But when you make a full meatloaf, it takes forever to bake, and I hate that. So I was doing some research, as I always do. I'm on Pinterest just kind of skimming around, and I hadn't even thought that putting a meatloaf in an air fryer was possible until I found the recipe, and I'm so excited to try this. This is gonna be a game changer, friends. I am not gonna make a full meatloaf though, because I do not need an entire meatloaf for just the two of us. So I'm gonna make two smaller meatloaves. I have a 1 pound package of ground beef thawed out. So I'm gonna take that package, I'm gonna make 4 meatloaves out of it, but I'm gonna freeze 2 of them on a sheet pan so that they're frozen solid. And then I'm gonna put them in a plastic bag, and I'll put them in my freezer. And that way I'll have meatloaf when I wanna do it. I can in the air fryer, I can. And we'll have 2 we'll cook for tonight. And so I'm loving that I'm able to do this. If you missed yesterday's video where we did chicken taquitos, I made those. We cooked a few last night. We had those for dinner. I stashed them in my freezer, and I now have those in my freezer ready to go when I want them. By the way, friends, they were incredible. I will leave a link in the description box for you guys for that video. Please go check it out. But my husband was over the moon excited when he got to taste those last night. He absolutely loved them. So we're gonna be making those again. He wants me to make a whole batch of those and stash them all in the freezer. We found out they are perfect with the way we served them last night with some of those refried beans and a little bit of shredded lettuce, diced tomato, some olives, some sour cream, our favorite hot sauces on it, and it was incredible. Who needs a Mexican restaurant when I can make those at home? So I'm hoping the meatloaf is the same. I'm just gonna make a classic mashed potato. I will show you guys what I put in it, but I'm gonna make just a classic mashed potato that I make, that my husband loves, and I'm excited to try this meatloaf recipe. So let's get this made so we can get these in the air fryer. We're gonna put 2 in the air fryer, and we're gonna put 2 in the freezer. So I am not making this full recipe. This full recipe calls for 2 pounds of ground beef, and I don't need that much meatloaf in my life. So we are just gonna have the recipe. So I've got a partial onion. I always hate that you always get these little things from the skin. All right, so there's our onion. There's a big piece. We're just gonna throw that away. All right, so I have my 1 pound package of ground beef right here. We're gonna go ahead and drop that in here. I probably should have saved that cutting board because I'm gonna need that to put those 2 on, but we'll worry about that in a minute. So we're gonna put in some Italian seasoning. I will leave the description or the recipe in the description box for you guys. I'm just gonna eyeball it because that's what I do when I make a recipe. I just like to eyeball it. We're gonna put in, it calls for a full tablespoon. We're gonna do roughly a half a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. So we got our Worcestershire in there. We're gonna put in a little bit of garlic salt. And I'm using my new favorite garlic salt, friends. I love this Kinder's. I have not found a Kinder's product that I don't like. Honestly, I love them all. We're gonna put in 1 egg. The original recipe calls for 2. And we need some panko breadcrumbs. Calls for 3/4 of a cup, so I'm just gonna eyeball it since I'm having the recipe. Hubby and I absolutely love meatloaf, and this is different. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the one my grandmother used to make when I was a kid. When I was growing up, she made a fantastic meatloaf. I've got my pan right here that I'm gonna put our meatloafs on, but I do need to grab that cutting board again because I need to have something to shape these on once we get them mixed up. So I've taken off my jewelry. I don't want ground beef in my in my rings. I don't think hubby would be super happy. And we don't want to really mash this. We want to be really careful because when you are making any kind of meatloaf, meatballs, anything like that, if you really get in there and just start mashing that meat, you are going to have a really tough meatloaf. You're going to have a tough product that is not going to be very tender, not going to be very tasty. My meat's a little bit frozen still, but it's going to be fine. So we want to just take our fingers and we're just going to very gently toss this in our ingredients, get everything, and then I'm gonna split this into 4s. I do this when I make burgers. I usually make, you know, right around 1/4 pound burgers. I wanna just kind of get this all mixed together really well. And then I'm gonna just take it, I'm gonna push it down in. Oh, I did not take off my rings. Oops, friends, I thought I did. Well, I guess I'm gonna be soaking my rings tonight. Okay, so just like that. So I'm gonna take my fingers and I'm just gonna go right down the middle of the bowl, all 4 directions. So I can get these shaped into individual meatloaves. And I like my meatloaves shaped like a football. Just like that. That right there is the shape that I'm looking for. So we're gonna put 2 of these on our pan over here. These other 2, I'm gonna shape them. And they're gonna go in my freezer. And I'm gonna let them freeze solid so that I can just pull them right off of the cookie sheet or the baking sheet or whatever I get them on. I can pull them right off and I can use those, they're already frozen solid, and I can just toss those right into a Ziploc bag and not have to worry about them sticking together. They're gonna be individually frozen, ready to go. And I just took out the work of making meatloaf for one night when I decide I want a meatloaf again. I've already got it prepped and ready to go in my freezer, ready for us to eat. So I've got a cookie sheet here. I'm just gonna take my cutting board, put that right on there, and that's gonna go directly in my freezer so I can get these frozen. We've got these 2 right here on our Stoneware pan. This is a Pampered Chef product. I love these things for the air fryer. These are gonna go in the air fryer. They're gonna bake for about 20-25 minutes, and then we're gonna have dinner. It's gonna be super fast. All right, friends, our potatoes are boiling. They're almost done. Our meatloaves are almost finished. They've got about 10 minutes. We're gonna get our sauce that goes on top of them mixed up because we need to put that on them the last few minutes that they're in there so they can get nice and caramelized. I found some carrots in my freezer, some sliced ones from Walmart. We're just doing some roasted carrots in the air fryer right along with the meatloaf. It's gonna be a super easy dinner, so let's get our sauce made. So I'm only making a small batch of this sauce because I just have 2 small meatloaves. So I've got just about a teaspoon of brown sugar. We're gonna put some ketchup in here. This is a very classic sauce. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of the meatloaf my grandmother used to make. And we're just gonna put in about 1/8 of a teaspoon of dry mustard. This is what's gonna give us a nice little bite. We're just gonna give this a little whisk. Get that brown sugar mixed into the ketchup and that mustard all combined. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to pull the meatloaves out so we can get that put on. Friends, look how good those look. We are just gonna finish them with our sauce. I may not need all of this sauce, and that's okay because I'll just leave it in the bowl and we can put some on the table if we want a little extra. My hubby is a big sauce guy. He loves sauce on things, and so he may want a little bit of extra. But I'm super happy with how these are turning out. I was just telling my husband a second ago that I think this is my new go-to way to make meatloafs now, because it's always such a chore to make that huge meatloaf, and to do it in the oven, it takes an hour or more to do it. Not anymore. I think this is it. We're gonna let these finish. All right, friends, let's get our mashed potatoes finished up. Our meatloafs are done. They're just gonna sit in the air fryer for a few minutes until I get the potatoes mashed, and we'll get everything finished. So I just added some butter, sour cream, and cream cheese to these potatoes. Put them in back in the pot. Let them sit on the hot burner so they could steam, and all of the butter and the cream cheese and the sour cream could kind of come to temp with the potatoes. And I'm going for a very rustic mash on these. These are not going to be a whipped potato, they're just going to be a mashed potato. I don't feel like getting out my mixer and doing all of that, so we're just going to go with just a rustic mash on these potatoes. I'm perfectly fine with there being a few clumps in them. That's not going to bother me. I am going to mix in a few freeze-dried chives. I love chives with mashed potatoes. I'm just going to polish off the rest of that container. We're just going to stir these in. They smell so good already. All right, let's get all this plated up. We've got our carrots. I'm going to just finish these with a little bit of garlic and herb. I roasted them with avocado oil. Take a little spatula and just kind of toss them around a little bit. Get the seasoning distributed. All right, let's put some carrots on hubby's plate. This is going to be a nice, comforting dinner. I think there's nothing more comforting than meatloaf and mashed potatoes. We've got our meatloafs. Do those not look amazing? Let's get hubby a meatloaf, some mashed potatoes. All right, friends, here is our meatloaf. Roasted carrots, both of these cooked in the air fryer. Our mashed potatoes, my favorite recipe for mashed potatoes. We're gonna go eat this, friends. It smells delicious. I am starving. I have not eaten a whole lot today. I just had a really busy day at work, so I'm ready to go eat this. Nice, comforting dinner. We're gonna go sit down and enjoy a relaxing evening, watch a movie or something. We both have had an exhausting week, so we're just ready to go sit and relax. So, friends, thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen. It means so much to me that you guys take time out of your day to come and see what I'm cooking, spend time with me in my kitchen. I hope you guys will come back. If you're not yet, please hit that subscribe button up there. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we upload a new video. And friends, please share this, give this video a like so this helps get my channel out there, helps people see these videos. This is an amazing recipe. I'm super excited to go eat this. If you're looking for comfort food, this is it right here. Get your air fryer out. If you don't have one, make an investment, find a good one. And friends, we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day and God bless.